Hi, everybody. Hi, welcome. Today we have a really a special stream. It's a special friend, Kamau Abayomi, an incredible multidisciplinary or multi-dimensional artist. Now, we've had him before on SpeakuP Monday, and we'll quickly do a backtrack, right, so to update you on where Kamau is from and what kind of person he is. And then we're going to get on to his exhibition, which is Evaporate Until Infinite, which this one will start in Ubud, 3rd of July for a couple of weeks. And he was obviously at Titik Dua Gallery before. We'll get into that in a second. So if you're an artist, if you're interested, in life as an artist or discovering that creativity within you that we all have, right, we're all tapping into, then it's a great little interview that you're going to listen to now, and it's live. So without further ado, my name is Robert Ian Bonnick. I'm an advisor. I help entrepreneurs, leaders and coaches.
You do a lot of things, bro.
A lot of things.
A lot of beautiful things.
Thank you, my brother.
He's a father, has beautiful children, beautiful wife. He's dedicated to them and gives his time. You do a lot of things. You're a great being. Even before you do, you're a great being, bro.
Thank you, my brother. Thank you, my man. So look, Kamau, like getting started, So, a lot of people here are probably, wondering, so multidisciplinary, multi-dimensional artist. So like, what does that mean to you when you hear that?
Well, for me, it's working on multiple levels. I live my life like everything we see comes from things that we don't see, right? And so before things come into manifestation, they happen in the higher realms, as I like to say. And so if we can tap into that and then really be in alignment with that, then we can bring, what's being created there into manifestation. So and then when that happens, then there's a connection if it's done with the intent to establish or to strengthen or to reconnect something, right? So yeah, the work multidimensional, that happens through movement, it happens through sound and word, it happens through literary arts, happens through music, it happens through any lane that wants to be expressed in, it can happen in. So that's the multi, and really, I really mean on multiple levels.
Got it. And look, so there's people here in Bali that know you well, that have seen you around for many, many years, right? And have seen you, let's say, show your gifts, connect people to their soul and to their spirit as a DJ, as a multidimensional artist, as you mentioned before. We did cover this in SpeakuP Monday, that we'll link to this episode so you can watch the whole thing. But I guess at this point, what or how did you begin to find your journey as a multidimensional, multidisciplinary artist?
Oh, well, I was born into the arts, man. I came into a creative environment. My mother's in the theater arts. My pops, so it wasn't his profession per se, that was his passion, photography. And I just grew up around a lot of talent. And my mother was pretty well known in the community for her contribution to the arts. So, whenever there was a theatrical play in town, we had a lot of after parties with a lot of great beings, some who are famous still to this day, who would be in the house, and I'd be a little young man running through legs, sipping on a little bit of wine, you feel me? So I grew up in the creative arts environment. And so now it just can't help but spread through multiple lanes, because I express through multiple lanes. I can't do just one thing. If I'm gonna put energy into something, I'm gonna put my full into it. If I'm gonna dance, I'm gonna dance. I'm gonna, get on the microphone, I'm gonna share something that hopefully can be of service and benefit to somebody. If I'm gonna write something, I'm gonna do my best to go deep with it and show originality and artistry. I'm gonna do whatever, DJ, it doesn't matter, because I know that I'm part of the creative process, and I tap into that as best as possible.
And that creative process. So my partner, Marina, my beautiful girl in business and life and everything, like a while ago, I remember, we're doing some things, and and she's saying, look, I've got to get in the zone, right? I'm finding the zone. It's not that I can just say 2 hours time, I'm going to be ready, or I'm going to do this bit of work and get it ready, because she's mother of our 2 kids and is very busy with them as well, and I didn't really understand before about about you not being able to force this zone. It's something which you can enter into for her, that doesn't necessarily come when she wants it to. It comes when it's ready. So if I ask you, because everyone's different, right? But the zone for you, or that zone, how do you find it? And if you're not in it, how do you reconnect with it, or do you let it flow? How does it work for you?
Well, for me, I'm never not in it. Even when I'm doing absolutely nothing, I am seeding something that wants to be into manifestation. So I understand already for a long time now the importance of movement and stillness, the ebb and flow. There is no flow without an ebb, So, and often the ebbs support a stronger flow. So I'm moving that lane. Like right now, I'm in the gallery. I'm doing an interview talking to you. Simultaneously, I have to be aware of what's going on, and I'm trying to do that as best as possible without, leaving y'all. But it's part of the same thing of being able to just allow things to be in motion constantly. So I don't have to find it, right? And oftentimes, like with writing, for example, a lot of people speak about writer's block, and for me, I don't look at writer's block the same way. I don't have writer's block. It doesn't mean that every day I'm writing and I got to write something all the time. Because just the manner in which I'm viewing things is writing, even if I don't physically put a pen to paper or type something, I'm still in the process of formulating thoughts and words and images in my own mind. And so when I do finally sit down and write, I have a wealth of experience to pull from, to pull down into the paper, right? And anytime that I feel like if I want to and make a conscious choice and say, I think I'm gonna write something right now, and nothing is really coming immediately, I have techniques in order to open up the flow. And that's often what people don't really understand, is that, there are ways in which you open the flow. And a big part of that is killing your editor. If you have a strong editor, then it's really, really difficult to write. If you're constantly critiquing yourself when you really don't need to. So if we can remove that editor, then creativity can flow a lot smoother.
So what tweaks my interest is this, when you're having a different kind of a day and you're maybe out of flow, but I get what you said about ebb and flow, so you're always in the flow. But just for the sake of this question, let's say you're out of flow and you said you have techniques that bring you back into that flow. And maybe there's some people watching now, maybe it's my partner Marina, I'm definitely taking notes, but what techniques are they that you use? And maybe you can describe 1 or 2 for us so we get an idea as to how you do it.
The first technique is to realize that the best technique really is no technique. And I know it's paradoxical and it sounds funny, but it's the honest truth. I don't deal with force. I live a very Wu-Wei lifestyle. Wu-Wei means effortless action. I practice Qigong, and there's some times where it's just not time to do it. and to really recognize when it is time and when it's not time for the energy to flow in this way is very, very crucial for me. So there are sometimes, like, energy is always, wanting to move, but it can move in stillness too. It can actually move really, really strong in stillness. So if I can recognize that, like there's been times where I want to write something and it's not coming, then perhaps it wants to come in a different way, not in the way that I'm trying to force it to come. So this is number one. If you can understand and tune into the way the energy wants to move, not how I want to move the energy in this instance, but how does the energy want to move, and tune into that, then the channel will always be open. It may not be open in the way you want it to be, but it will be open, and you can move in that if you can align yourself with it. So I move in that way. Now, saying that, I will give you a technique. And simple thing. All right. First, keep this as a mantra. Kill the editor if you want to open up the flow. You got to kill your editor. Don't edit yourself. Don't critique yourself. Don't judge yourself. And if it's in the writing lane, let's do it like that. If you have something that you want to write and you haven't been able to get the creative flow open, there could be a backlog of emotions or just all kinds of stress that's just in your body that you have to release. So without an editor, stream of consciousness write for 20 minutes straight up. You know, if you can do that, then you're going to open the channel and it's going to allow what really wants to come in a creative format to come, because now you cleared out the clutter that's been on the forefront of your mind to allow what wants to be created to come forth. But if you're trying to write some deep creative stuff and you got a bunch of stress and clutter in your mind, then you know you're gonna have problems. So stream, kill the editor, don't edit, don't judge yourself, just let it flow and whatever wants to come. If it's some deep darkness, let it come. If it's some super happy, joy, bubbly, gummy bear stuff, let it come, whatever it is. And then perhaps on page number 10, you know, that's where your poem starts.
Yeah, should always do that. Got it. So then, what I love about your answer is that, like, you know, first of all, there is no technique. I'm like, damn it, but I get that as well, right? But here's the thing.
Let me reiterate why I said that real quick. Let me just tell you why I said that. Because there are 1,000 people teaching techniques. Now, you know, I teach poetry, and people learn techniques and they don't apply them. So this is why I say techniques, you can, you know, you really got to tune into what the energy wants to do, and you will actually discover your personal technique. Because, you know, you can do something, you know, Stephen King's technique for writing, or, you know, whoever famous person, their technique, and you try to implement it and it doesn't work, though it works for them. So and ultimately you have to find what works for you through exploration of different things. But ultimately, you have to tune into what the energy wants to do. And the one technique to clear is the technique that you should know, to clear out the gunk. Because once you clear out the gunk, everything is going to flow.
Got it. Okay, thank you for that. And look, for those of you maybe tuning in now, you might be on Instagram Live or YouTube Live or Facebook Live. So we're having an informal chat with a good brother friend of mine, Kamau Abayomi, and he's a multidimensional artist, and he has an amazing exhibition July the 3rd for 2 weeks, and it's in Ubud, right? So, and I've left the details here. It's in Ubud, and I really strongly suggest that you go and see him. He's an amazing individual. So now, with this technique, as you mentioned before, of really kind of tuning in, you know, to what the energy wants to do, as opposed to you enforcing your will upon what you want to do, I think is a really powerful distinction to make. Now, so the last question on this...
Can I give a quick example?
Yeah, please do.
Can I give like a real-time example? So here's what's happening right now. We're in the gallery setting up this exhibition right now. This is Maria. Say hello.
Hi, how are you?
This is Maria. She has photography, brilliant, gorgeous photography in this exhibition. And right now we're arranging how to match her photos with some of the paintings that I've done, right? And there is an energy flow that's going with what they just positioned down here, color-wise, hand-wise. Like in the image, there's a Sister Putu who has her hands up like this, right? Both of their hands toward the face. The image to the right has a painting image of a figure at the top of the figure on the crown. It's almost flames going up, but in the same position that her hands are going, right? So if I can recognize that, then it'd be easier to say, okay, like this goes with this, and then now it's about positioning. Now, what do I want to do? In this sense, here I can have creative control over the process in the sense of, do I want to place the energy so it's going to go up and curve? Do I want it to go straight up? Do I want it to go at that's where I can go in, but the energy is already aligned. The energy definitely wants to go up because that's what all of the pieces are saying. So now here's where we align with the energy and try to figure the best way that energy wants to flow and present it so it can flow.
Love it. Love it. Thank you, brother. Because I really do think that it's easy to get stuck in this, and and not have the confidence to kind of go with that flow that wants to flow through you, as opposed to that you really want to make flow yourself. Got it. So then, look, with this exhibition, now, what is it inspired by? So, Evaporate Until Infinite. Great name. What is it inspired by?
So the inspiration came initially. It came in a few phases, actually. The first phase was when I was in Japan. So I was in Japan in 2000. My trip in 2017 when I was there, and I went to Kyoto for the first time. And when I got there, it was like, man, total resonance with this particular city, like remembrance. And I would go to certain places, certain temples, certain just corners, past certain areas. And it was like deja vu, like crazy deja vu, not like your typical, like, oh, I've been here before, but like full body, full energy deja vu. So that was the first phase. The next phase was when I returned to Kyoto again in 2019. And at this point, I went to this particular temple and really direct. It's a long story to set up to tell you the whole thing. But in short, I essentially connected with one of my so-called past lifetimes. Where I was a priest in this particular temple. And so from that direct connection, it was just deep confirmation of a deeper, actually, I already had this awareness, but an even deeper confirmation that we exist beyond our current identity of Kamau in this form as an African man in Bali. Like I'm not just that, And so my trip on that team was just direct confirmation. I'll have a part of this exhibition where I'll talk a little bit deeper about that aspect. And so the next phases of it dealt with going into meditation and coming out of meditation. And, normally I would do meditations, and then when I come out, I will write, stream of consciousness style, just let what wants to flow. Kind of like the example I just gave y'all earlier of what to do as a technique. So I would do that after meditation, and then English words didn't want to come out. It was like script started to flow out. And from that script, I just decided to get canvas and it just expanded from there. And then it turned into what is now this exhibition. And you're going to see what came through after coming out of meditations.
And like you mentioned before, just picked up on it, an African man in Bali, right? African man in Bali. So like, I'd love to get your insight. So, when you first came here to Bali, what things did you recognize then, whatever comes up, and how have those things transmuted now?
Oh man, so like, the beauty of Bali, it being an international destination, is that, you meet people from literally all over the world. And for myself, particularly arriving at the time that I arrived, where it's a smaller community of people, Bali hadn't blown up yet. And to be able to interact with people and make like really good friends and hang out with people from literally every continent, all these different accents, but all having, a similar similar magnet towards this particular island, and the freedom that it allows for us to be who we are and connect with other people wherever they are. To be in a party and have, cats from the village who are little dancers, and then you got millionaires over there, and everybody just, having a great time and socializing together, on a relatively equal plane, is beautiful. And so for me, and like I've tried to leave Bali a few times, but Bali is just like, nah, you gotta stay, bro. You gotta stay here. So, and part of that staying is being able to do things like this particular event, which, not only is it the paintings and the photography, there's also going to be a live component to it that's happening on the opening. And, there's Balinese in it, there's Javanese in it, there's Japanese folks in it, there's folks from America, there's folks from all over different countries in this exhibition. And Bali has allowed me to do that. Most events that I do, I try to bring all these sectors together. So, Bali has really allowed that for me from the perspective of, a soul-centered African from America-based perspective, plus some.
Mm, mm, got it. And so we speak about the energy of Bali, right? And that it didn't want to let you go. You try to leave a few times. It's like, you ain't going. Come on back.
Yeah.
So when we talk about the energy of Bali, right? Now, there are some people that perhaps would be watching this either live or on replay who are not from Bali or haven't been to Bali or have heard of it. It's still the number one most Googled destination on the planet, right? Still number one, which is amazing, right? And obviously we're here. We know what it feels like. But if someone were to ask you, Kamau, like, what is it about the energy in Bali which is different to the energy that you felt anywhere else, what would you say?
Sorry, repeat that. It got a little bit, the reception was a little funky. So just repeat that for me one more time.
All good. So if someone were to ask you, say, Kamau, you're there in Bali, you've been around the world, what is it different about the energy in Bali compared to anywhere else?
The amplification of who you are and where you are is very, very strong here. And plus the presentation of catalysts in order to make better choices is very strong here. So a person can come here and dive into a world and dive fully in it. If they want to be into one particular lifestyle, they can dive fully into it here and see all the benefits and drawbacks of that particular lifestyle. If one wants to make new choices, they're going to meet someone who can provide the opportunity to make those new choices and step in a new direction, because the spiritual energy is really strong. The veil between the seen and the unseen worlds is really thin here because of the culture and the religion is daily homage and cultivation of the energy of these worlds. And so whether you're spiritual or religious or not, the energy is still present and diving into it. And so, you're provided with that opportunity to make choices. You're going to get a nice big mirror held up to you so you can see yourself. And Bali really, that's what's really unique about Bali.
Great description, brother. And this one just popped in, as I usually do. So if there is, there's a friend of mine, a lady called Tasia Valenza, who I met via Clubhouse, and she's like a Star Wars actress, Emmy Award winner, TEDx speaker, has a room called Give Great Voice, and it's a movement that she started, and it's giving great voice means, to your daily life, you start by giving great voice to yourself and giving great voice to others. So in other words, a way to uplift not only yourself, but the lives of others. And this room that she has on Clubhouse, which is Thursday, which is US time, 4 p.m. On the West Coast, and then 7 p.m. on the East Coast, she asks you to bring a quote or a poem that inspires you or lights you up or resonates with you. And then she asks you to read it out or speak it. And then she asks you, why does that resonate with you so strongly? So my question to you, my man, is that if you do have, it could be a famous quote, or not famous, but it could be a quote or a story or a poem or a piece of prose that really resonates with you right now. When I ask you that question, what would it be? And why do you feel its resonance right now?
Well, what comes to mind is Khalil Gibran. Khalil Gibran, he wrote this book of writings called The Prophet. And within that is one piece where he speaks on knowledge. Pretty much, if you're not familiar with The Prophet, Khalil Gibran, every piece that he writes just starts with on this subject, like on marriage or on love or on children. And one of the chapters is on knowledge. And it starts as this. It says, your heart knows in silence the secrets of the days and nights, but your ears thirst for the sound of your heart's knowing, and that opening line has always stuck with me. And it's apt for me right now. It's just like deep inside of us, we already know what's up. We know that we're infinite. We know that we're boundless and unlimited, that we can do whatever we want. We know this on the deepest of levels. And oftentimes when we have these peak experiences where we're in flow, we get glimpses of that. And so what it is that we're constantly wanting confirmation of our limitlessness. We want to see it. We want to hear it. We want to experience it in our external reality, just as we do in the deepest of our internal reality. So that particular quote comes to me as you ask that question.
Love it, man. Love it. And what I'd love you to do is to read it once more, a little bit slower, so we can hear and embody all of the words.
It says, your heart knows in silence the secrets of the days and nights, but your ears thirst for the sound of your heart's knowing.
Got it. Thank you, brother. Thank you. Now, you mentioned peak experiences, right? And for those of us,
and it continues on. If you should know in sound what you've always known in thought. It's beautiful.
Beautiful, brother. And so you mentioned before about peak.
Trying to find the spot. Hold on real quick.
Yeah.
Just trying to get the bars up on this little thing. Okay, can you hear me though?
Yes, I can. Yes.
Okay, let's go.
We'll continue. So for those of you who might be joining now on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube Live, we're having an informal chat with my brother, Kamau Abayomi, who's a multidisciplinary, multidimensional artist in Ubud. 3rd of July has an incredible exhibition, Evaporate Until Infinite, and it'll be on for 2 weeks there. And I've left some details here below of how you can find him. So the other question which came up was, you're in a space, Evaporate Till Infinite. You're in Bali, a place which has a magnificent, powerful, vibratory energy that's like putting a mirror up to yourself. You spoke about peak experiences. And for those people here in Bali, peak experiences are either things like, ayahuasca, right? Like meditation experiences, spiritual experiences. It could be other types of movement, dance. It's very open to that energy. But when I ask you about peak experiences, maybe what comes up for you, and maybe when was the last peak experience for you, and what did you learn, or what insights did you gain from it?
So allow me to be a little bit more paradoxical again. Right now, in this particular moment, is a peak experience. Right now. So for me, it's not about chasing highs or lows, because I see the lows every bit as beautiful as the highs, and every bit as insightful as the highs. The little sip of tea or coffee, I like coffee, having a sip of coffee can be just as insightful as a full 5-hour ayahuasca trip. It can be if you allow it to be, if you're observant enough to see what's happening in the present, it can be. And for me, that's how I move. So I don't chase peak experiences in the typical definition of what that means. I don't chase it where it's like, because it becomes, a lot of people chase because it's like a drug. They left one drug, perhaps in the past they used to do, do a lot of alcohol or smoke a lot of weed or do harder things, whatever. And they stopped doing that, but they just supplemented and replaced it with now more clean versions of drugs. And it's still the same thing, chasing, running away from oneself. If one can really just accept this now and know that everything is right here. And all we are really doing is expanding our consciousness in order to perceive it. And then we don't have to chase anything. You know, we can just live and flow and try to be as aligned as possible and move deeper into that.
And if someone here maybe is watching and saying, that sounds great, I can understand part of it possibly, but how do I get started on that journey?
Time. Start observing. You know, the biggest thing is observing, really tuning in. Can you sit still and just observe what's going on in your environment without trying to change anything? Just seeing what's there and accepting it. That's a big part in being able to move into that space. You know, control is a big issue. It's a big block to the progress. Control is a big block to expansion. Trying to control the external environment, I should say, like just, you know, trying to get a better control over our own energy is really what it's about. And in that process, not in a sense of control in a hard sense, but to be able to drive our own car, you know, steer our own ship and not try to change the waves, to accept the waves. And if we know our own ship and we know how it navigates, then we can overcome anyway, no matter how big it is. And so to move into just more deeper self-awareness without needing all these, you know, I don't need to chase a bunch of things outside of ourselves. That's a big first step. Self-acceptance, self-knowing, knowing that, okay, this is what I can do, this is what I can't do. This is my strengths, this is my, you know, all my challenges. You know, knowing these things can help us move into the space of acceptance and moving a lot more in harmony with nature and the flow of life.
So then, Kamau, you know, I look at you, I see a fine brother who has, you know, I've always seen you as being, you know, an amazing spirit, right? To me, you don't walk, you glide, right? You come with this amazing energy that's present whenever I've seen you. No pressure. So there might...
Hell no, I'm you talking about, I'll be doing it.
So then people might be looking at you and say, well, yeah, he's got it together. Like, he knows who he is. But, like, you know, maybe what were some of the challenges that you faced? How did you overcome them? Like, what age did this start to hit you now, right? Because, again, you know, I'm guessing you weren't always like this. So what kind of experiences maybe happened along the way for you to start to see and step into this part of you?
Man, I came in stepping into this part of me. Like again, I came into a glorious family, but also came into a lot of drama. You know, I grew up in one of them neighborhoods, and you know, in my early formative years, I was the love support for my family. So I was experiencing a whole lot of debt with my family members. You know, so I was the newborn baby holding a lot of space. So I came in with the charge already to do that. So you know, as this heavy energy was happening with, you know, some of my family members dying, my father's younger sister, and father's brother next year, like really back-to-back stuff, I was the love component that was magnetizing everybody. So that has carried in and on my journey in very through life in very different ways, but always consistent. You know, I balance out space, and this is also a big part of my arts. My arts balance out space. And I've known this in terms of when I came awareness of that this is what is taking place through the vessel known as Kamau. Like at 18, I started my process of consciously moving in this way. So I've been on it for a minute. I've had crazy experiences on this level, physical and in the other worlds. I've traveled, I've done a lot of things and experienced a lot of outside of this physical form. So the work that I present is a testament of that journey.
And look, so Kamau, firstly, I believe that if you can bring the microphone a little bit closer to your mouth, could you just a little bit closer, that would be great. And
okay.
Yeah, so what comes up is that, you know, maybe one of those experiences that you feel like sharing or that comes up so we can get a sense of what that feels like. And then after that, we'd love to see, if we can, a sneak peek of some of the work that you have around you that you're in the middle of putting up. So the first one is if there's any of those experiences that you can relate to us, so then we can have a little bit more context. And then after that, yeah, let's see a few pieces if we can.
Okay. Well, like, I'll do this. I'll link a couple of experiences into one big experience. Qigong, right? So I've been practicing Qigong. For my first 2 years of practicing Qigong, I was very inconsistent. I would do it, if you say in a week, I'd probably practice maybe twice, right? And this is something, if you really want to go deep into Qigong, you have to practice every day. And then I ended up interacting with a particular woman who was powerful in her magic. And I mean that very literally. She was powerful in her magic and practicing and knowing techniques, and had powerful energy where she could do things that are, you wouldn't believe me, but I witnessed and experienced it. Anyhow, we had a fiery separation. And in that fiery separation, I was getting attacked on a psychic level, very directly, very energetically, experiencing and needing to do certain defensive things. This particular situation thrust me into my energetic practice, and learning about Qigong, not only just on the basic health level, but on the metaphysical, expansive, energetic growth, the perception level. It thrust me into going deeper into that, thrust me deeper into my connection with nature, because I was forced to go to the beach. And I say forced in a very natural way, just because the extent of the situation, if I wanted to keep my center, I needed to practice every single day. And so I moved near the beach and would go every day, on the beach. And I had a thing with water. Like, I had been living in Bali at that point for, what was it, like 10 years? No. Yeah, like 10 years. But I would never go in the water, just because I almost drowned twice when I was young, within the span of a few months. And I wasn't going in the water. So in this situation, I also started making my way into the water and my connection with the ocean. And so from that, I began my Qigong journey and practicing every single day and expanding my awareness with that. So those experiences, or those combination of experiences, is what has just expanded my level of awareness directly, intently, on a very daily basis. It's taken my view of things to a whole nother level.
And to me, this really brings in, this title of Evaporate Until Infinite. I mean, that's an incredible title for so many things, including an exhibition. And for those of you just tuning in now, whether you're live or it's on replay, so Kamau Abayomi, multidisciplinary artist, multidimensional artist as well, and is a guy who has such an amazing life. And we'll link this to a SpeakuP Monday that we did a little while ago that went deep for about an hour and a half. You really get the body of who this beautiful man is. And this exhibition is going to happen in Ubud. It's going to be on the 3rd of July for 2 weeks. And in a minute, I'll ask you where it is and how people can find it. But that name, right? You mentioned before about where the inference or where the inspiration for the exhibition came from. Where did the inspiration for the name come from?
It came from, same that period when I was in Japan, right? Was watching this documentary on what they call Johatsu. There's a term in Johatsu that means evaporated people. And I was watching this documentary and I was just fascinated by this particular word. It represents people in Japan who have vanished from society. Like, they've left their families without a word. They leave their families, they quit their jobs, they move to an entire location, and they don't say shit to nobody. And so many people do this every year that they have a name for these people. They call them Johatsu. And so I was like, damn, that's kind of a trip. Like just people just like, fuck it. But I know, there's a lot of social pressure in Japan. So some people just like I'm done with that. And then so I was looking at it, but I was looking at it more on a metaphysical level. Now I was just like, okay, it's similar, the process of moving from traveling in our daily lives. But eventually, if we wish to expand into the deepest levels of our being, we come to a point where we gotta start to, we gotta vanish, we gotta evaporate from all that we have been clinging to. We have to move and let it go and just dissipate into a whole new level of existence. And so this is where I was tying it in. So Johatsu, like my initial Japanese, I was saying, Mugen Mare Johatsu Suru is the term. And it came after I did this video, and it'll be a part of the exhibition. When I was in Japan, I shot this brother, Bernard Likes, he's a dope photographer, and we did a video thing. And so after I was like, oh, this would be cool to expand and do more with. And so the Japanese word Johatsu, which means evaporated people, is the kind of the root of me turning evaporate into infinite.
Love it, brother. Love it. And look, so maybe we're here. We've been speaking a little bit about it. Now, can you give us a bit of a sneak peek and tell us at the same time which art gallery you can find it in from the 3rd of July in Ubud?
Okay. So we're at right now, I'm at Titik Dua in Mas Ubud. And that looks dope, though. Sorry. I'm like double talking. So look, we're arranging right now. We're literally just doing layouts. And that's Maria back there. That's her photography in the middle. I'll show you. See if you can catch that. I don't know how clear it is, but that's her. And so we're trying to coordinate that with, let me move a little bit. I don't know if you can see some of the work. And that's Isa. She's going to do a poem in the opening. Wait, trying to adjust. Wait, turn that way. Wait, okay. I'm trying to get it. There it goes. Okay, you can see a little snippet of it. Sorry, but at Titik Dua here in Mas and Ubud this weekend, it's gonna be lit. It's gonna be all kinds of flames, in the most beneficial way. And yeah. Sorry, did I answer that question?
Yeah, you did. Right? Yeah, you did. Like it's interesting because, as you know, like SpeakuP Monday, this is more of an informal chat, but SpeakuP Monday is usually in the studio. It's always live, but it's really nice to have this other element to it of somebody in the background with things happening and things going on and people putting stuff up. And I saw some guy walk in who looks like another guy who was gliding in. I saw the beard, like the head, just looked like a very a very cool dude.
That's Mao. He's super dope tattoo artist, and that's Maria's husband. So he's super dope, and he's been helping to give little pointers. He does installations, and he's a dope ass artist as well.
And so Kamau, how does it feel, man? So this is I know this exhibition, we did one in Tamora Gallery as well here in Canggu, which we'll talk about in a second. But how does it feel? Like you've had an extraordinary life, right? And now you have this opportunity, Evaporate Till Infinite, incredible name, right? To express and to convey, some of these important insights and learning, right? That you expanded into. Like, how does it feel for you? I know you're a pretty relaxed guy. I get that, and you're pretty cool. But like, how does it feel inside that you're getting this up? You seeing it on the wall. You're collaborating. Other people are helping you. How does it feel?
Oh, it's beautiful. I don't know how not to collaborate. Like every time I try to do something solo, I always meet somebody in conversation or see somebody that I just want to bring to be a part of it because their energy matches what I want to express or wants to express through me. You feel me? So it's difficult for me not to collaborate. This is just how, like, even the fact that I'm the only one who's having paintings in here is a first. Like my initial was like, okay, I can bring in this painter, this was Source this time. My spirit squad was like, nah, bro, you gotta be the only one on this one. If you want to bring someone in, it gotta be a completely different element. You can't have no other painters join you. Because I'm like, all right, I want to bring my other artist homie in to put something over here and this. And so here's what I did to find a compromise with my spirit squad, my high self, right? I was like, okay, I'll do Titik Dua. I'll put all my artwork in. I'll have Maria as a photographer as a different element, but yeah, I can, give her shine because she's super dope. Then I'll expand Evaporate Until Infinite. So it's not only happening in Titik Dua, but there's going to be smaller pop-up locations that are connected with this same theme, but will also have other artists. So this is opening this weekend on July 10th at Cafe. We're doing an all-day thing in arts exhibition there that's connected with this one, and that will have different artists. It's going to have, some gallery showings there, and then that's going to lead into also everything which we do once a month, which will be poetry, open mic poetry night, music. I'll be DJing, so that is an expansion of that, as well as going to have a little coffee shop chats. I'm going to do an artist workshop. I'm going to do a variety of other things over the course of this 2 weeks exhibition.
Love it, man. Love it. You really do encapsulate the multidisciplinary, multidimensional, and I love the way you bring people in, because to me, collaboration is the strongest thing, right? When you can bring and balance those energies into an event or into an experience like the one you're putting together, that's phenomenal. And how can people find out about the whole thing? So where can people go? Is it a website? Is it a Facebook page? Is it Instagram?
Facebook.
Where can they go to see everything?
Facebook, Instagram is where a lot of stuff. So you can go to Titik Dua Ubud on Instagram. You can, of course, go to my Instagram. I have the ads up there. And those will have the information. And also Titik Dua website should also have the information on there where you can know what's up. And if you tuning in now, and you can always follow me, Kamau Abayomi on Instagram, and I put up the information, I share it in my stories, and you can know what's going on.
So let's do that again. So Kamau Abayomi, right? So Kamau, Kamau, Kamau.
Yep.
Then Abayomi, Abayomi, right?
Hey, just as it sounds, you got it.
Yeah, baby. All right, so that's where you go. So now, for those of you in Changgu may have come to your exhibition at Temora Gallery at Spark Studio, which is a brand new space, Spark Studio, Temora Gallery. It's a multi-dimensional space from performance to art to yoga to meditation, 102 square meters, rectangular, clean air filtration. It's an amazing spot. So Spark Studio, Temora Gallery. So now those people who came there, now what did they see there, and what will be different in Ubud?
Oh, okay. I'll put it like this: like if you just went to the new poppin' spot restaurant, right? And they haven't had the full opening yet. They're just like, hey, we got some dope items. We want to give you a little taste of what we're about to show you. And they bring out some bomb, small little snippets, and you're just like, all right, this is hella good, but it's, I'm not full yet. I want some more, right? So the Temora Gallery was like the teaser. It was like that little dish just to get you, that's coming around the dope spot, the elegant spot, the little dish coming around, and you take it, and you're like, that's good. I want another little bite. You take another little bite, like, where's the rest of the meal at? And it's just like, all right, well, that's next week. So this is the full course meal over here, and the appetizer was at Temora Gallery, like that.
Love it. Love it. So my brother, look, this informal chat, if you just joined us, we're talking, this is an informal chat with my brother from another mother, Kamau Abayomi, a multi-dimensional, multidisciplinary artist. And he's got some amazing work, which we've just gone through. And it's Evaporate Until Infinite, an amazing name for an exhibition. It's happening in Ubud, July the 3rd, opening night, July the 3rd for 2 weeks. Make sure that you go and see it. We're not done with it yet, brother. Make sure that you go and see it. And look, so, is there anything else, right, that comes up for you now that you might want to tell everybody about?
Sure. I mean, people like to ask, "What's your why?" Yeah, I've seen that video too. The why of this is coming from a higher aspect of life through Kamau saying, "You can do it too." That's the most basic thing. The works that I present is to say that we exist on multiple levels in multiple dimensions, always, and we can tap in and access that at any point. That's the why. It's to show people that they can access higher aspects of who they are and bring that forth in very unique and creative ways that can benefit many lives.
Got it, brother. Got it. So then look, in closing, we'll bring this conversation to an end.
Pause for a hot second. This is Maria again.
Oh, yeah.
She has to step out. So I've been here. She's been like being my she's been doing this stuff while I've been chatting with you, handling it. I just been kind of nodding. But I trust her view very much. She's super dope. So you have to go?
You have to go.
Okay.
See you soon.
Tomorrow.
You know what? Grab Maria back a second. Grab Maria back.
They have to go. They're like out.
Are they going? All right, they're out the door. I was gonna sneak question to Maria, but all good. So look, guys, we'll be closing this stream up. So this has been a little cheeky informal chat with Kamau Abayomi, multidisciplinary, multidimensional artist, and being incredible guy. Been in Bali for a long time, has an amazing body and depth of experience and knowledge. And we'll connect this interview to the SpeakuP Monday that we did, that goes real deep, and you really get to know who he really is. It's about an hour and a half long, so we'll connect you to that. We'll put it in a description here. So in the meantime, guys, if you are in Bali, just remember we have Freedom Day Bali. So that's Freedom Day Bali. That's tomorrow. And so just go to freedomdaybali.com. It's SpeakuP Monday's first collaboration, big collaboration, hosting that, and that will be incredible. So freedomdaybali.com. Go check it out. It's on tomorrow, Thursday. So to you, Brother Kamau, thank you so much for taking some time out. It's been really cool and interesting to see, you at work and see some of your work and get a little bit deeper underneath the reason why Evaporate, why it became Evaporate until infinite. Sorry, why it became something really special for you, right? So, as you know, with SpeakuP Monday or with this informal chat, if there's anything else that you'd like to say or anything else that you'd like to add, please feel free to add that now, and then we'll close up after you're done.
Yeah, come to the exhibition.
Love it. And tell us once more when it is and where it is.
There'll be a whole lot being spoken.
Yeah. So where is it? When is it?
Titik Dua. Opening is this Saturday on the 3rd at 5 o'clock.
Beautiful, brother. My man.
Yes. Thank you, bro.
Thank you, my brother. We'll speak to you soon.
All right, now. Peace, everybody.